I've been told that on YouTube there's a load of Americans getting into Football Manager and that I should appease them. And having sold 2 Americans in pre-season, apparently I needed to sign some. So I went and got one. Weston McKennie, signed from Juventus, £17.25 million. This man got an assist on his debut. He is the missing piece in the puzzle. The final player that I think we need to push, hopefully, for a title challenge this year. A top quality centre mid. I'm happy with him. And well as him, I signed 3 more players. We'll talk about them after the intro. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back to Arsenal. Today we are going to be kicking off our Champions League campaign and we have the small matter of the North London derby. We are taking on Tottenham away from home, a game that we lost last year. I really want to win it this time around. But before we talk about that, transfers. You love them, I love them, let's talk about them. We've already talked about Weston McKennie, an addition to the team that was just, well, a perfect storm, really. Transfer listed by Juventus. I think he's a player who really complements Kessié nicely. Kessié, of course, a lot more of a defensive kind of midfielder. Weston McKennie, in many ways, is kind of the mirror image of him. Similar kind of pace, but maybe slightly better in the air. Better going forward. What he lacks defensively, Kessié is going to make up for. And as a pairing, I kind of just like them. But as well as McKennie, I did decide to spend our remaining transfer budget. We were sat on it, I was getting itchy fingers, and I went out and picked up some young players, some cheap, some less so. The first, a cheaper one. Valentin Carboni, we picked up from Inter Milan. Signed for £5 million. This man, an Argentine winger, exciting player, has good determination, resolute personality, is solid. Lots of 14s and 15s across the board. Could develop into something good at £5 million. A relatively low-risk investment. Another man who I decided to pick up, another attacking mid, a low-risk investment, I think, Shola Shortire, signed from Manchester United, the 19-year-old, available for just £12.5 million. And whilst maybe there's some question marks over his potential, I think fundamentally he's a good, exciting young English talent, and 19 years old, has loads of room to improve, already consistent, already looks very solid by all accounts. Comes in to be a little bit of a squad option, but an exciting player nevertheless. At £12.5 million, if he kind of develops, fantastic. He'll play in the first team. If he doesn't, we're going to be able to cash in on him. And with the little bit of transfer budget we had remaining, I decided to take a punt. We have picked up Jamie Bino-Gittins, signed from Dortmund, a player who started his career in England, went from Reading to Man City to Dortmund. Last year played a little bit in the Bundesliga, started this season playing for them. I've paid £20 million for this man. Is it a punt? Yes. Is it a gamble? Maybe. I mean, his value is already now above 20 million, but at 19 years old, he is an exciting player with some absolutely crazy potential, great dribbling, great technique. His physicals for a winger are off the charts. There is one minor worry. He's very, very injury prone. We are going to hope that he can stay fit. We're going to wrap him in bubble wrap, similar to Shortire, a player who won't really be playing too much this year. Will play mostly with the under-21s, train with the senior team, hopefully will develop. And yeah, I'm kind of keen to see how he gets on. And it is worth noting that I am making use of Ivan Toney. The 2 new English wingers are going to be training underneath this man, of course. Ivan Toney, 16 determination, perfectionist personality, influential in the dressing room due to his age. Just a perfect fit. And across the board, you can see we've got training and tutoring on the go. Tomiyasu has Andre Santos and Saliba working under him. Hopefully they're going to pick up his model citizen personality. And as for the Odegaard group, you can see here we've got Andreas and also Vitor Roque training under him. Of course, Odegaard got a professional personality, 15 determination. All of these players have kind of desirable things that I want our new, younger generation of players to have. And, well, hopefully they're going to benefit a little bit. I feel like in previous FMs, players just absorbed everything like a sponge. It's a little bit more difficult, perhaps, to imprint on younger players, more senior players' personalities, but we're going to give it a go. Now, it is worth noting that with McKennie, I've promised that when Odegaard leaves the club, he will become a regular starter. Lovely in principle. A little bit of bad news I didn't tell him. Odegaard has already agreed a new contract with the club. It's going to put him on £160,000. It's going to make him one of the biggest earners. It's a contract that's going to kick in at the end of this year. A 5-year deal for the club captain. Naturally, I want to keep him here for the long term, and he signed a deal for the long term. Anyway, that is a little bit about what's been going on off the pitch since you were last here. On the pitch, 2 matches played. The first, a win against Everton. 1-0. Not a great performance, not a flashy performance, but we grinded out a win in the end. Vieira got the all-important goal. Great to keep a clean sheet. And then in our most recent game, another clean sheet, and this one had a few more goals. We took on West Ham, who of course last year managed to get Champions League football. We had a great start via Martin Odegaard, and while there were going to be 3 more goals before the first half was over, Jesus picked up the first from the penalty spot. Hopefully that's going to give him a little bit of confidence going forward. From there, we continue to be a constant threat, and with this result and some great finishing, we now have 3 wins on the board, 3 clean sheets on the board, and while with Odegaard scoring 3 kicks like this, I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic that this year we can really push on. Right now, I don't feel like we've been properly tested. Tottenham today have had a bit of a slower start to the year, but away from home, it's never going to be easy against them. But fingers crossed, we are going to be able to come out on top. And just to show you the Premier League table, you can see here, Manchester City top of the league, although they have lost a game. They lost away against Chelsea. As for ourselves, well, we've played a game less. Our goal difference isn't quite as good. But you can see right now, we are one of 2 teams still unbeaten with a all-winning record. Ourselves and Manchester United doing well towards the top. As for today's opposition in Tottenham, well, Conte's got his work cut out. They've not had a good start to the year. They've lost against Liverpool and against Aston Villa, both away from home. Both teams who finished in the top half last year. And well, you have to imagine playing us at home, they're going to back themselves to win this one. We have got a second game today. That's going to be in the Champions League. We'll talk more about our group stage draw and all that jazz after this. I want to get into this match. In terms of team news, Saka for the first time all year is fit and ready to start. Of course, had a little bit of an issue with kind of injury during pre-season. Been nursing him back. Gave him an appearance on off the bench last time. He looked good. He starts today. Elsewhere in the team, McKennie is going to be playing alongside Kessié. And to be honest, I think this is our full strength 11 at least right now. We have some great depth with McKennie in at centre mid. Our centre mid options look absolutely great. Of course, a few new names tacked along the bottom here. Players who I have made available for the under-21s. They're going to get regular first-team football playing for them. And, well, if we have an emergency, if we have a load of injuries, the likes of Shatar and also Bino Gittings are players that I think are good enough that we could call upon them. But, well, for today, you can see the team. It's full strength. I'm hoping we can make it 4 wins in 4 to start the league season. Of course, I'm not naive to it. It's going to be tough to get a 4th clean sheet in a row, but I want to believe it might be possible. And well, the good news, maybe, is the fact that from our own kickoff, there's a highlight. McKennie, of course, making his debut, going to look to switch over to Saka. Bit of direct play early on, trying to catch maybe Tottenham out with a bit of a slow start. They play the ball forward to Taremi, who's going to keep it in play. Of course, last time we took on this Tottenham team, they beat us. I want revenge, and well, we might have some defending to do here. Ball played inside to Harry Kane. Kessié puts in a tackle. The ref's raised his hand. He wants to make himself the focus of the attention inside the first minute. Surely this cannot be given as a penalty. That didn't look like a foul in 3D. Is it going to be given? It is, and that is a penalty from absolutely nothing. I've spent however much it was I spent on Kessie, a lot of money. Not for him to do that. Now all eyes on Ramsdale, who, well, I'll be honest, the animation choice there was questionable. The penalty has found the bottom corner. It is in the back of the net. And with it, Tottenham have an early lead. We're not going to question the animation. I'm not sure why he tried to slide tackle it. It's like when you played football in the park and you forgot to bring gloves, so you tried to save everything with your feet. Irrelevant of that. It's 1-0 Tottenham. Apparently McKennie has suffered a fractured finger. Not been a debut to remember. If we want to make a change, we could bring in Zinchenko. I feel like he can play with a fractured finger. Elsewhere, I've just seen Harry Kane, I think, has had to go off the pitch with an injury. Of course, the cynic in me hopes that our kind of local rival's main star striker is now out for a long period of time. Not that, of course, I'd ever think like that, but within the context of a football game, we can think like that. Hopefully he's out for a while, Harry Kane. Hopefully we're going to be able to turn around this game. Certainly our task defensively is going to be made easier. Of course, that idea of a 4th clean sheet in a row is long gone, but maybe a chance here to get the ball forward. It falls to Saka. I do not know what's happening at the back. Saka crosses it in. It falls to Odegaard. I think Lloris has spilt that. And it's not been a good day for goalkeepers so far. 20 minutes into this game, 1-1. Harry Kane's not on the pitch. And surely from here, with the wind in our sails, a bit of momentum on our side, and while some questionable defending on multiple occasions, you've got to back us to win this game from here now. We really, really need to win these kind of games. Tottenham have not been good to start this year. Let's see if we can see this out. Of course, Tottenham are not going to be easy to break down. They're playing with 3 centre-backs, 2 defensive mids and wing-backs. With that in mind, I feel like they're going to have men back aplenty. And, well, maybe catching them out on the break like this as they try and transition back is going to be our best chance to score in this game. Taremi unsuccessfully holds up the ball there. Tomiyasu snatches it back. Now with Kessié, who of course has got to make amends after giving away that penalty. Given to McKennie, who plays it through to Rodrigo. The Brazilian has had a great start to his time at the club. Holds up the ball nicely, gives it to Tierney. McKennie looks for the shot, it's blocked away, falls to Odegaard. And it was offside, I think. In fact, no, Gabriel Jesus committed a foul. I thought for a second there was going to be another goal. It's scrappy across the board. Still all even for now. Worth noting, if it stayed at 1-1, we would still technically go top of the league. We'd go a point ahead of Man City. We're playing earlier than everyone else. So, yeah, irrespective of what Manchester United wish they could do, until 3 o'clock comes along, they can't change anything. We would go top if it stays like this. Naturally, I would quite like to win. Naturally, with this last highlight before half-time, it'd make my job a lot easier if we could find the breakthrough. But we are on the back foot here. Odriozola plays it forward to Richarlison, who looks to dink the keeper. It's hit the woodwork. It's gone out for a goal kick. 3 minutes of added time. And with that, an action-packed first half comes to an end. Tottenham's only shot on target was a penalty. We've not created a whole lot either. I'd like to believe that in the second half, Tottenham are going to chase the game, commit a few more men up the field. Maybe it's going to make this defensive shape that they're currently playing a little bit easier to break down. Free kick in a dangerous area here. Tottenham with plenty of men forward as well. We're going to need to be at our best. Sod whips it back post. Eric Dyer, free header, back post. Who was marking him? Todibo. I'll tell you what, for Kessié and Todibo, the new signings this summer, it's not been a great game, has it? It's 2-1 Tottenham. It's a set piece. It's disappointing to say the very least. Eric Dyer, free header. Simple as you like. With that, I need to make changes. Now, of course, the beauty of our team is we could literally change everything if we wanted to. Rodrigo's not had a good game. Saka's not had a good game either. So I'm going to bring in Andreas and Fabio Vieira. Elsewhere, Jesus hardly covering himself in glory. Going to bring in Ivan Toney. Elsewhere, Kessié's on a booking. I'm going to take him off. He gave away the penalty. It's not been a great day for him. McKennie is going to stay on for now, having already made 4 subs. I'd like to keep 1 in the back pocket. I don't really want to change things too radically here, although I am just going to tell the winger backs to go on the attack, to go on the offensive a little bit more. We need to just commit a few more men, I think, to the attack to try and find a breakthrough. Tottenham are a good team defensively. They've shown that in this game in spells as well. What is Tierney doing? I don't know what I've just witnessed. If they score from this, I'm going to be livid. Please end the highlights. Thank you. Okay, 25 minutes left of this match to try and turn things around. Andre Santos, fresh off the bench, of course, going to be a little engine in the midfield. McKennie has now... Every player I've bought this season has just had the worst game imaginable in one game. I don't know what to say. Kessié gave away a penalty. Todibo let a free man score a free header. And now Weston McKennie's got sent off. I think I want to cry. I mean, at this point, we've kind of just got to go for things. I'm going to look for the overlap still. We're still going to look to play wider, but without a centre attack in mid, I think we're going to be lacking a little bit of a spearhead to our attack. Odegaard is going to drop that little bit deeper. And I'll be honest, Ben White's on a 6.2. I think I'm just going to take him off with my last sub. We'll bring in Saliba. But I think with, 24 minutes left, I think this game's just done. I've got to go attacking. I've got to try and make something happen. With 15 minutes left, down a man. It's a position we found ourselves in a few times last time out. I suppose the hindsight Harrys will say McKennie shouldn't have been left on the pitch. He shouldn't have been left and, well, you know, not without ease on tackles or ease off tackles on. But ultimately, I feel like at this level, at this elite level in previous Football Managers, you could let players get away with it. They could walk that line. And well, as we've experienced today, we've not walked that line. Nothing has happened. There are no highlights to end this game. Tottenham win 2-1, and I just feel bitter. It is a second defeat in a row against Tottenham. It is a defeat that means that we do not go top of the league. Still, of course, on even points with Man City. But after a great start to the year, it's not exactly what you want to see. Okay, look, we are going to dust ourselves off and go again. Our next game is going to be in the Champions League. We're in a group with LASK, Bayern Munich, and also Monaco. I was hoping that our first game of the group stage was going to be one of the sexy ones. No disrespect to LASK. It's not it's not the sexiest of games, but we're going to be taking them on. It's at home. It's a game where I feel confident, I think, against the Austrian outfit. We can play a rotated team. With that in mind, let's see how a second string 11 gets on. I don't feel like they can do much worse than that last match. So after another disastrous North London derby, we're back for the Champions League. We're back in the big time. We get all the fancy new graphics as well, which is great to see. A little bit of unfortunate news. Manchester United have now gone top of the Premier League. Turns out they're quite good. They beat Fulham 6-1. But alas, we can't let that concern us too much. Today we've got to come back ready and refreshed with a fresh mindset for this game against LASK. It should be a straightforward game. It's a game where I look at our rotated 11 that you can see in front of us, and I feel like this is a team that is more than good enough to win this match. Of course, in the Champions League, 12 players on the bench, so all the big guns are there in reserve. But I'm looking at the likes of Ivan Toney, Martinelli and Andreas and thinking, if you were to put in good performances today, you could be starting league games sooner rather than later. And here we are, Champions League night. They're back for Arsenal. Yeah, we get all the lovely little graphics, which I have to say are a really nice touch. I wish we got some of these cutscenes, for all competitions. And it'd be really cool if, like, during matches, if you're playing on direct-to-camera, you got stuff like this. I mean, look at this. This is lovely. I feel immersed. And then suddenly I'm ripped away from that immersion as we realise that we're taking on an LASK team that are playing the exact same formation that Tottenham played against us. This game has a sense of humour. Hopefully it's one that, well, isn't going to hurt us too much. Andreas, holding up the play, fouled. I don't think that was in the box. The referee is going to consult VAR. My gut instinct was, it's a free kick. If it's now given as a penalty, I will take full credit. The keeper is insinuating there was a dive. There was never a dive there, ref. Was it in the box? Was it out the box? It was out the box. It's not a penalty. Unless we score from this free kick, I'm going to be upset that I was forced to watch that. Fabio Vieira stood over it. There is a man marked to the back post. It's an Ivan Toney as well. You can't leave him there. They've dealt with it, and it turns out that highlight was just to break my heart. Thank you, Football Manager. Okay, LASK playing with the ball. I don't know if LASK is how you're meant to say the team's name. Apparently, with the three-letter abbreviation, they're just ASK. So maybe I should ask you guys how it's meant to be said. Maybe that's a sign. Either way, we've got the ball. We should be beating them. We're on the attack here. Of course, they are a team who, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago took on Manchester United. It might have been in the Europa League, but they're not an insignificant team, but they are a team that Ivan Toney will get his first goal against. And, well, it's his first goal donning the Arsenal colours, of course, signed for £12 million. A little bit of a risk. Maybe. Not really. In the grand scheme of things, I suppose, the Ivan Toney fee. Nevertheless, there's a little bit of expectation on him, and so for him to get his first goal is going to be nice. He breaks through the middle, and, well, on his left foot, smashes it in to the bottom corner. Of course, the reality is that in this Champions League group, the games against Bayern and Monaco are perhaps the ones I need to be more wary of. There's part of me that wishes they were the games that maybe we'd had today. That said, at the same time, it's nice to see the B team play. It's nice to see this rotated 11 full of some pretty talented players by all account come together and will hopefully click. A lot of these making their first start of the season. In the league, we've been playing a fairly full strength 11. Of course, as the schedule kind of ramps up, as the matches come thick and fast, a lot of these players that you see here that haven't started yet this year will be forced to start in league games, be forced to start in cup games. And so kind of giving you a taster of what to expect from them, I suppose, is a nice way to do things. Worth noting, Maitland-Niles is in at right back. Mukiele, currently out with an injury. He's missed the entire start of the year. Tomiyasu, I think, does have that position kind of locked down. And, well, we could have a chance here. Martinelli played in behind by Ivan Toney. It's his second goal of the season. Toney has a goal and an assist. And, well, this is as good a start as I could have hoped for. Free kick now. Fabio Vieira. A third would be delightful. And, well, I'll tell you what, a third is going to be delightful. It's Gabriel. Free header. A cross goal. Perfectly placed into that top corner. On the one hand, I do feel like 3-0 flatters us slightly. That said, they are yet to have a shot in this game. And, well, we've got another set piece. A familiar area of the pitch to have it in. Saliba heads it down. Keeper makes a good initial save. Cleared away, and, well, I think they've just about managed to weather the storm. Goal line technology, gonna have a peek, wasn't over the line, and I have just spied in the bottom corner behind my face, Monaco have taken the lead against Bayern Munich. It is 1-0 in their game, and, well, from kickoff, was the... What happened? I didn't see the goal. Am I going crazy? Wait, well, that other stuff was being shown. Did the game just forget to show me a goal? Apparently so. Well, I'll tell you what, in the bottom corner it says, this is a beta version. I can confirm, this is a beta version. I think I just missed a goal, unless I've just had a stroke during the video. Now they've scored a goal, I don't know what's happening anymore. It's 4-1. Don't mind me having a little crisis on the sideline. We're 4-1 to the good. I should be enjoying this. We could have a fifth. Fabio Vieira snatches the ball back. It's cleared away. Sander Berg, though, going to keep it alive. A little bit of an upgrade for Sander Berg. Championship football last year. Now watching Ivan Toney bang it in the Champions League this year. Unfortunately, I think he might have been offside. I think this one isn't going to count. We are going to be left to wait perhaps a little longer for a fifth goal here. Yeah, unfortunately, a really good finish denied by the flag. 1 minute left of the half. I've noticed in the other game, Monaco 3 goals up against Bayern Munich. That is a little bit of a shock, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'd expect Bayern Munich to beat Monaco kind of on their day. As things stand, though, both games in this group been rather one-sided. We're 3 goals to the good. Monaco are 3 goals to the good. Could it be 5 here? Barreiro playing it forward to Ivan Toney, who's looked confident today. And I'll tell you what, he has now got his second goal of the season. He has now got goal number 5. A really nice finish. Barreiro won the ball in a compromising area, let's be honest. Ball played across, he saw the opportunity to latch onto it. From there, he set up Toney, who had a lot left to do. Took it wide, hit it across goal, and with that, a really good finish to give us our 5th. Not much to say at half-time. What a 45 minutes. That is as good as it gets. Just wish we could play this well against Tottenham. Going to make a couple of changes here. Andre Santos and Smith Rowe going to come into the team. Just a bit of first-team football for them as much as anything. In Smith Rowe's case, he has just found himself outside of the starting 11 for kind of both the A and the B team. It's a bit unfortunate, but with obviously 3 attacking mid positions, those positions are very competitive, and he is just that 7th best player, with there being 6 slots across the 2 teams, and naturally, someone has to miss out. That is him. That said, he has a chance to play himself into contention for half an hour here. And of course, Andre Santos, the centre mid, just needs continual first-team football. Going to come in for Sander Berg, the 20-year-old, with a chance now to play some first-team football, play at a good level, hopefully put in a good performance here, not exactly a high-stakes game at 5-1. And going to just use this as hopefully a learning opportunity for our players. As, so far, the second half has started a little bit slower than the first, because, having scored 5, we've not scored in 15 minutes. But maybe an opportunity here. Martinelli on for the hat-trick, as is Ivan Toney. That ball there is superb. Fabio Vieira, one-on-one, skies it over the crossbar. Ivan Toney on a 9.1. Martinelli on a 9.1. Players who, honestly, with our league form and with the blip against Tottenham, I might have to consider starting sooner rather than later. We've been really, really good here. And whilst things have been slower in this half, the clinical finishing in the first has kind of made this a little bit of an easier game, I suppose, to manage. Smith Rowe been fouled there. Sorry, I've never seen a highlight like that before in Football Manager. Smith Rowe was through. He's been fouled from behind. I feel like he maybe could have gone away with the ball. Is the ref checking for a penalty here, or if this was inside or outside the box? He's given a penalty. What a bizarre highlight. Was the man booked for it? I have to assume he was. Toney's going to step up. Toney is going to grab a hat-trick. Ivan Toney, first start for the club if I'm not mistaken. He's grabbed himself a hat-trick in Arsenal colours. Having watched all our summer signings completely blow it in the Tottenham game, it's nice to see one of them turn up in this game here and show me that maybe I haven't made a load of mistakes in the market. Toney has been absolutely sensational here, a spearhead to our attack. Not felt a load of pressure to make too many changes because none of the players on the pitch besides Ramsdale started the previous game. But yeah, all in all, great team performance, 6-1, a really good start to our group stage campaign. Ivan Toney, this man, he could be very important to us this year. Unsurprisingly, Ivan Toney picked up man of the match. Gonna give him a load of praise. A great team performance. Berg had an okay debut before we subbed him off. Martinelli out for a few days, but ultimately a good start to our time in Group C, where as you can see, Monaco did end up winning 4-1 over Bayern Munich. A really good result for them in the first game of the group stage. Naturally, I think things are going to get a little tougher for us, but great to get things off to a winning start. And of course, this is the final season, if I'm not mistaken, of this Champions League format. In real life, the format changes in 2 years' time. In game, it does too. So enjoy this kind of group whilst you can. So looking ahead to our upcoming games, I appreciate I've come back twice in quick succession for the North London Derby and the first Champions League game. With that in mind, I think I'm going to go a little further ahead. And I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at Manchester United and Bayern Munich as head-to-head games at the end of November, just over 2 months away, and think, yeah, that could be a good time to return. Bit of a mixed bag today, but all in all, some room for positive, especially with that ending and that second game. We will beat Tottenham eventually. Hopefully we'll finish higher than them in the league. Just a little bit concerning that all the new players did, well, as badly as they did. If you have enjoyed today's video and you've got to the end of it, as always, do drop a like on the video. It does genuinely help feed the YouTube algorithm, get this video onto more people's homepages, and help more people find the channel, which is always appreciated. Besides that, I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow for more, and until then, it's me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.